It began on a rainy Sunday afternoon when I found an old box tucked behind the attic insulation, dusty, forgotten, sealed with yellowed tape. Inside were faded holiday cards, brittle letters, and at the very bottom, a single family photograph I did not remember ever being taken. I should have stopped there, but something about the faces pulled me closer. The image was old, maybe from the early 90s. It showed my parents, my older sister, and a young boy in front of our old house. The only problem was, I never had a brother. The more I looked at that unfamiliar grin, the more it felt like he was staring directly at me, through time, aware. When I asked my mother about the boy, her face paled instantly. She insisted she had never seen that picture, never posed for it, and swore we didn't own such a camera back then. My father brushed it off as some mix-up from a relative's album, but I could feel something tightening in the air. Later that night, I compared the photo to others from the same decade, same living room wallpaper, same vintage armchair, but only in that one image did the boy exist. His placement was too perfect, his expression too knowing, as if the camera captured a secret nobody wanted revealed. Curiosity turned to dread when I scanned the photo on my computer. The digital version shimmered faintly as if the pixels resisted freezing in place. When I enlarged the boy's face, for a split second his eyes moved, glancing at me, then returning still like a grave warning. I thought it was my imagination until my phone began showing the photo thumbnail in random folders. I deleted it, emptied the trash, and yet it kept reappearing. Each time it did, the boy looked a year older, his smile growing sharper, his shadow longer. The next morning, I printed the scanned image and compared it side by side with the original. The two were no longer identical, the background curtains had changed color, the clock on the wall showed a different time, and behind the boy, something vaguely human stood in the reflection of the glass frame. I checked every mirror in my house that night, convinced that figure would be there waiting. Each reflection looked normal until the last glance in the bathroom mirror, when I saw a movement not matching mine, a hand resting on my shoulder, though I stood utterly alone. Sleep was impossible. The sound of film clicking echoed softly through the dark, like an old camera rolling in another room. When I searched with a flashlight, there was nothing but the open storage boxes and a faint scent of developer fluid that had no reason to exist. I found my father early the next day sitting stiff in the kitchen. He admitted something strange. He remembered having a son once. A boy named Daniel. But there were no birth records, no photos except that single one, and even his tombstone at the local cemetery had vanished decades ago. He led me to where Daniel's grave had supposedly been. The grass was untouched, no sign of a headstone, yet the earth felt disturbingly soft underfoot, almost hollow, as if it were breathing. My father refused to step closer, whispering that some things should remain forgotten. I took the photo with me to a local historian who specialized in lost town archives. She studied it quietly, then showed me a newspaper clipping. In the early 1990s, a local family went missing after reporting strange photo anomalies, every picture showing someone who shouldn't be there. The description of that family matched ours. My name was listed among the missing, though I was clearly alive. The woman reading the file looked horrified. She backed away slowly and muttered that names do not survive closure breaches, that I should burn the photo immediately. Instead, I drove home and stared at the image under a bright desk lamp. This time, even my parents' faces looked slightly altered, aged backwards, their smiles fixed in strange symmetry. The boy was now holding something, a small black photograph in his hand, a perfect reflection of the one I held. Lightning lit the sky, and for an instant, I saw him outside my window, older, eyes gleaming pale through the rain. The flash disappeared and so did he, leaving wet footprints leading from the yard to my doorstep. I didn't open the door that night. Prints were gone by morning, but the photo had changed again. Now, I was in it. Standing among them, smiling faintly, just like the rest. My body went cold. I don't remember ever posing for that image, yet there I was, holding the same photograph inside its frame. I locked the photo in a drawer, taped it shut, and tried to forget. Days passed before noticing reflections lingering slightly behind my movements. The boy, now a young man, sometimes stood just over my shoulder, faint as smoke, yet distinctly present in every shiny surface. My phone camera began unlocking by itself, taking bursts of images when I wasn't touching it. Reviewing them showed glimpses of the boy at the edge of the frame, closer each time, face blurring like corrupted data. I factory reset the phone, but the final image stayed in memory, file name simply read, home. Contacted a tech forensic specialist to analyze the metadata. He said the file was tagged to a camera model that had never existed, manufactured by a company that disappeared decades before digital photography. His face drained of color as he realized the timestamp was dated 3 days into the future. By then, the boys' laughter began echoing softly in recordings. Whenever I left a voice message, faint layers of another voice, higher-pitched, detached, murmured in sync. The words were never clear, but the tone was unmistakably joyful, like someone humming through static. I reached out to neighbors, asking if they remembered a boy living with us long ago. Their responses conflicted. One claimed he moved away suddenly, another said he never existed. A third neighbor swore she saw him standing in our yard just last week, watching the house until dawn. At this point, the air inside my home felt heavier, as if breathing through memories. The clocks ticked irregularly, pictures on the walls subtly rotated on their own. When I checked my reflection in the mirror that night, my face seemed a few years younger, features softening into something unrecognizably familiar. Unable to bear it, I scanned old negatives of our family albums, hoping to confirm which version was real. Every roll developed blank except one. That single photograph appeared again, sharper this time, the boy now front and center, his hand raised to touch the lens. The next evening, my mother called in tears, saying she found a photograph too, similar, with the same boy but a different house in the background. It was our home, exactly as it looked today. But the date scribbled on the back was from 1991, decades before any renovations. The historian from before called me unexpectedly, terrified. She claimed the newspaper clipping I saw had vanished from the archive. None of her databases contained any record of that missing family. She asked if I still had the photograph. When I said yes, the call dropped instantly. Something in me snapped. I retrieved the photo, placed it on the kitchen table, and watched. The light flickered, casting sequences that resembled breathing. In those pulses, the faces began to move, just a fraction, eyes blinking, lips twitching faster with every flicker. Hours surged through the house, lights dying into silence. I fumbled for a candle and realized that the photo was now blank, completely white. As I exhaled, faint outlines began returning, silhouettes first, then faces, until only one person remained visible, me. The white void behind my own image pulsated softly, forming shapes, hands pressing from within the paper, begging to be let out. I backed away, heart pounding, but gravity seemed wrong, angles folding inward. The air crackled like radio static merging with whispered laughter. I burned the photo in the sink, watching as smoke rose, curling unnaturally back toward the frame. The ashes formed a near-perfect outline of the boy's face across the countertop. Beneath it, faint letters scorched into the surface spelled "Remember Me." From that night forward, the house no longer felt like mine. Furniture shifted slightly each morning, mirroring the arrangements from the old photo. Some nights I'd wake hearing footsteps circle my bed, and laughter, the exact same pitch as before, muffled but closer. Neighbors complained about strange lights flashing inside my windows despite every bulb being unscrewed. They said a family silhouette could be seen standing together in the living room, for figures where only one should be. I watched from outside once, and indeed, I saw them waving. I tried moving. The moment I crossed city lines, the radio cut to static, showing bursts of my own recorded voice describing these events. When I returned home, the photo frame lay on my couch again, empty glass gleaming, reflection showing someone walking right behind me. As days blurred, memories shifted, childhood snapshots rearranging. In dreams, I remembered playing with Daniel, laughing under summer light. Waking up, I could still feel the warmth of his small hand gripping mine. Reality, it seemed, was folding beneath the weight of something desperate to be remembered. Friends stopped visiting. They said the moment they crossed my threshold, their devices blacked out. One friend claimed she saw hundreds of identical photos plastered along my walls, each one featuring people she'd never seen before, smiling in perfect, motionless unity. I reached the point of surrender. Sitting alone, I whispered Daniel's name, apologizing for forgetting. The temperature dropped instantly, the walls shivering as every frame on them turned simultaneously toward me. For a heartbeat, his voice answered back, calm, forgiving, human. This morning, the photo box in the attic was gone. In its place, a new one sat labeled with my full name. Inside were prints from the future, moments I haven't lived yet, each bearing familiar faces now complete again, one happy family restored through impossible memory. If you're hearing this, check your old photographs. Look for an extra figure, a shadow, a smile that feels too personal. Sometimes, our world glitches not through machines but through moments, and when it does, reality rewrites itself with the precision of memory pretending to be truth.